It's time to get up. You're going to motorhome. Hey, going to motorhome? Well, it's 4 AM and we're just about to leave. I've put the last minute things in the van. I've left the Aldi heating on for a couple of hours, so the van is nice and warm. We're not going out into a freezing cold vehicle, and we're going to start driving up the A14 very shortly. So it's pitch black out there, and nobody around. Street lights are all out. It's just like, well, you know, it's night time. Well, we've arrived at the Strathclyde Caravan and Motorhome Club. The site is the Strathclyde Country Park, and quite a mouthful, but it was £18.50 a night. That includes electric and all the facilities on site, and it's a typical Caravan and Motorhome Club site. It's really well presented. I mean, the trees have dropped all their leaves, and it's just it isn't messy at all. It's really nice. 12 months ago we were here and it was really quite grey and quite damp, but this glorious sunshine, and I'm standing here with just my shirt and a little gilet coat on, and it's the end of a 400-mile journey from Ipswich in Suffolk to Strathclyde, which is just south of Glasgow in the Scottish Lowlands. And the first job is a little doggy walk. So we've got the electric plugged in and we're going to wander around the park. There we go, doggies. Last time we came, we pitched on these pictures here. And just round here, I think this was a pitch we had here where the little yellow marker is. And just round here is the facilities block. And the motorhome service point is round here as well, which we'll be using tomorrow morning. We're just here for one night, so as you can see, really nice sight, and look at that blue sky. Cracking. Well, we're going to get the kettle on. Geese crossing. And Sophie is telling them to hurry up. Just walked down from the caravan site and we're going to the Toby for some dinner. Well, we've opted for the carvery. A nice refreshing lemonade and lime. And Sue, what have you gone for? Carvery and a Guinness. Well, good morning. It's a beautiful frosty start this morning. Day 2 of our road trip through Scotland, and we've still at the Strathclyde Country Park at the moment. Just out walking the dogs, my usual routine first thing in the morning. I say first thing, I think it's about 8:30 now. We wondered why the Aldi heating kept kicking in. There's quite a frost, just look at that. The grass is really covered with the white stuff. It's quite chilly. You can see my breath, just about. And the motorway is still humming away in the background there. The M74, which runs right the way through to Glasgow. And we'll be on that shortly. We're going to go up to Glasgow through across Erskine Bridge and then head up towards Glencoe via Loch, and we'll see how we get on. We've changed the plan a little bit, as you do. We've had a 400-mile drive yesterday, which was quite challenging. It's quite a long way to do in one chunk. And then we went for a nearly 6-mile hike around the country park here, which was fantastic. But it did, play havoc with the little legs and ankles. So taking it a little bit easier today. Still going to enjoy ourselves, so we'll take you along with us. We're just going to finish our little doggy walk here, try not to trip over various shrubs and bushes along the way. We'll catch you in a few minutes where we're going to be packing up, emptying tanks and heading for a wild camp, which should be fun. See you soon. Well, we've driven about 85 miles this morning and it's just had lunch, and we've found a glorious little spot here. Sue pointed it out to us as we drove right past, but we went about half a mile down the road, found a nice big lay-by that we could turn around, and here we are. Sue's just making another cup of tea. Wow. Playing with the phone.
Got an arrow.
No internet signal here, but
I've got UKE.
Oh.
And I've got 3 bars on the phone.
Oh,
oh dear, Trevor, you've got no service.
Good old Vodafone has done it again. So, an O2. Bye. But there we are. I'm sitting here with my feet up, like the lord of the land, and just look at this view. I don't know if you can see through the windscreen. I'm going to give you a shot though.
Oh, the motorhome coming in. Another one.
Take a look at that. hey?
We're getting lots of company.
There's one or two little motorhomes sitting over here.
Fabulous start. I'm glad we came when we did.
And another one coming in, as Sue just said. There's car parking over yonder. And you can see the road right in the distance there, but this is the view out the front of our van. And a little bit of reflection on the windscreen, sorry about that, but we'll nip outside in a minute and have a look.
Oh, I've got a neighbour.
And oh, we just had a neighbour pull up alongside. So we lost our view out of that window. Yeah, how rude. Well, we've stepped out. There's a bit of a breeze out here, but my goodness, there's some fresh air. Just going to give you a little view of our panoramic view, sun's in my eyes, panoramic view of our park up for the night. As you can see, pretty spectacular. And Sue and I are just going to wander away from the van for a few minutes. We're the only ones on here, look. There's a pad of gravel here, probably fit half a dozen vans on there, but they saw us coming and all disappeared. And good for us, hey? Right, let's go and have a little walk around. All I can see is you silhouette in the sun. I reckon we might be able to walk down there. Yeah.
Oh, nobody wants to stay.
Nobody wants to stay with us, Sue.
Billy no mates.
But Billy no mates. But we don't mind. We're happy to be Billy no mates in such a remote little spot. Yeah, so Sue's saying that north is over that way. Makes sense because our shadow's here, look. So north is out that way somewhere.
See Aurora.
We might see Aurora, yeah.
Or at least lots of stars.
Or one of her friends, perhaps. Let's go for a little wander. Just as I did that, he flew off. Here he is. It's late afternoon now, we're outside in the same spot, and cars have started to calm down. The little road is not quite so busy as it was, but look at this beautiful sunset. I don't know if you can catch it on camera as well as we can here, but the sun's going right down and we've got moon coming up from the other direction. So I'll keep my eye on it and take a few pictures as and when I can. Well, good morning. It's day 3 of our Scottish road trip, and it's a little bit chilly this morning. There's a bit of a stiff breeze coming off the mountain here, and we're still at Loch Tulla viewing point, which is just behind me over here, and we're on the little motorhome park, which is behind us here. We'll probably get 10 or 12 motorhomes on this little space here. but the view is not quite such blue skies, but equally interesting this morning, as you can see around here. Lovely to wake up to, and we're on the move. It won't be long now. I'm just going to walk the dogs, and then we're going to be making our way towards Glencoe, and hopefully end up in Skye today. Bit of a trip. We're going to stop off at Fort William for lunch, and we'll take you with us, so come along. Let's get started. We'll see you there. Well, we're now on the Isle of Skye, and what fantastic scenery there is here. One moment there's trees and everything's green, then everything is grey and rocky, and then there's brown, and there's all sorts of crag and scar in the landscape. It's spectacular. You've got to see it to believe it, really. You can probably hear some water trickling away, and just right to my right hand side here is a stream that comes from quite a small loch, which I'm looking at to my left, and the motorhome's parked up here. We think we're going to stay here for the night. It is a viewpoint, and just over behind me here there's quite a few people already arrived to have a little look at the Kilt Rock. So I'll take you over there in just a moment, but I'm going to show you the stream that leads down to the waterfall right now. So let's take a look. Just behind our motorhome here, the sun's right on us. It's a beautiful sunny day again. The luck again is on our side. The closer we got to Skye, the sunnier it became. We're right on the northern tip of Skye. This is the little loch that runs the other side of the road as well, just down there, and it trickles down into a little gully here. And as you can see, as long as I don't fall in, the water cascades down here, and I'll show you just the other side of that bush. You see my shadow there. Till it's almost winter time, the sun is so low in the sky it casts shadows, really long shadows into the distance. So just beyond the where you can see the water disappearing there is a sheer drop, and we're near the picnic tables just here, but through the gate and over yonder there's a viewing point. You can see there's a party just turned up in a minibus that are enjoying that view right now, so we'll go over in just a few minutes.
I feel like this actually isn't I'll try, guys.
And the rock is named Kilt Rock purely because it looks like a Scotsman's kilt, which I guess it does. Are you having fun? Bit chilly now, isn't it? Huh?
We looked up there.
No, let's come and have a look. Let's come and have a little look at Kilt Rock. Beautiful example of the rugged coastline on the north coast of Skye.
Don't see any whales and dolphins.
We're noticing as the sun goes down, the mountains across the water here are changing colour. We think over yonder is Apple Cross, which is mainland Scotland, but really quite pretty. The sun is gradually setting down. So late afternoon, it's about 4 o'clock now, and we're starting to lose the afternoon sun. Well, good morning, it's day 4 and we're still at Kilt Rock, which is on the north coast of Skye, in the Isle of Skye in Scotland. And we've woken up to a beautiful sunrise, and the sun has now come out. There's a few clouds in the sky and there's a stiff easterly breeze, which is coming from gosh knows where, Siberia probably, but it's really cold. We've had to have the heating on to keep us warm through the night, and there's a bit of a gusty breeze, which, as I say, is I'm standing behind the motorhome right now, which is sheltering me from that. You can probably still hear the water chuckling away in the stream down here. I just thought I'd give you another look at the Kilt Rock before we leave. We're going to move on to Staffin next, which is just a little further along the coast in a northerly direction. We're almost at the tip of Skye when we get that far, so, and we think there's a nice beach there we can run the dogs on. So that's where we're heading. Here's the last little look at Kilt Rock. And the rock is named Kilt Rock purely because it looks like a Scotsman's kilt, which I guess it does. This was our park up for the night. A lovely little spot next to the Loch. Beautiful spot. So what do you think of the park up then, wife?
It's lovely.
Well, we've arrived at our park up for the night, and it's still a little bit breezy, but look at what we've got behind us. We have the sea behind us, one or two lonely sheep, and a few fishermen that have disappeared, but quite a good view. There's Bertie Badger behind me, and as you can see the sea is round behind me there, and there's a slipway as well, which I'll show you shortly, and then behind us we've got the cliffs and the rocks, and this way as well. So we're kind of sheltered down on our little park up. It's really quite nice. We're just going to have a cup of coffee and settle in, and then I think we'll go for a little walk, but we'll take you with us, no doubt. So here's a little view of where we are. Well, the dogs have got their winter coats on, and so have the humans. and we're just looking across the slipway here. Bertie Badger in the distance, and there's not even a breath of air down here. It's beautiful, right away along the coast there, and very fresh, Sue says. We're going to go for a little walk to breathe some of this fresh air in. Run, Sophie. Come on in, run. Come on, Oscar. Get it. Well, we're in the motorhome in the cosy warm, and we just noticed the tide is up. It's high tide, and this is out of one side window. And then moving around to the cab, and then out the front. And round the side. And then this side. Pretty much surrounded in sea. Well, it's about 6 o'clock, and we're outside in the dark in a bitterly cold wind, and just wanted to show you this. Well, good morning. It's day 5 of our Scottish road trip, which is turning into a little bit of a success. We've just parked up for another night down here at Staffin Slipway, which well, say there's a beach. There is a little beach further down, which you may have seen on yesterday's video, but we're just behind us here. A little bit out of breath because I've just climbed a hill. There's plenty of them in Scotland. We're on the Isle of Skye. Bertie Badger is down there in the distance on the little car park near the Slipway. As you can see, the Great Atlantic Ocean is right in front of Bertie, and Staffin Island is just behind us over in that direction there, with one house on it. I wouldn't want to be him. We're just doing a doggy walk as usual, first thing in the morning. When I say first thing, it's probably about 9 o'clock now. The sun is just about coming out. It's creeping up over the rocks behind me here. We see the slight glow as it appears. But we're going to be moving on to another, we think it's a Motorhome Air, which is again on the north coast of Skye. It's probably about another 10-15 miles around the coast of Skye. We're going to go and have a look at that. We'll take you with us, of course. Sue's just getting ready, so as soon as she's done that, and we're got all the tanks, we're going to get our tanks filled up at the Air. We've got down to about 1/4 of a tank of water, so we've got probably about 25 litres left, something like that, of fresh water. We've got about 4 litres of drinking water left, and we've got a tank, which a grey tank, which has got about 30% full, and the black tank, which you all want to know about, I know, is probably going to need emptying before dark tonight. So that's the reason for us looking for an Air. We need to do a bit of a refresh on all the tanks, get the batteries charged a bit. The batteries actually are working well. We've got 2 100 ampere batteries bolted together. They are leisure batteries, and they're running now at about 12.1 volts, which I think is, if we look in percentage terms, is around about 70%. We have been driving around and starting the engine each day, which has topped them up, but it wouldn't do them any harm to have 240 volts, 230 as we are now European, running through them just for a couple of hours to get them fully topped up. We're on the move, so stick with us and we'll show you our next park up. we're at the Ewig camping site in Ewig, which is Skye and the Isle of Skye, and we're just going for a little walk into Skye. We know that there's just a few little shops and places to see, and then we're going to find a waterfall. I've brought my Ordnance Survey map and we're going to do a little bit of map reading and see if we can find a waterfall. So come and join us for a little walk. I thought I'd like to mention the blue skies all around us again as we go in for a cuppa. We're just walking along the main road in Ewig. And this is where the ferry terminal is, and we're walking along the towards the mountains here. And you can see two long shadows. We're overlooking Ewig Bay on a walk in the late afternoon sun. And we're just walking back towards the bay, and the sun is setting. And our motorhome is right down there somewhere. And the wind is a-howling and blowing from behind us. We're going to keep walking, see if we can catch the little supermarket before it closes. Want to stay here, Oscar?
No, I don't.
Want to stay here?
No, I don't.
Morning, it's day 6 of our Scottish road trip, and we're at Ewig, at the camping site at Ewig, which is right down near the pier where the ferry crosses to the Hebrides. There's a nice little town here with a few restaurants and shops and a pottery and one or two other nice little gift shops as well, and tea rooms, you name it. There's plenty here for a tourist. It's pretty much what you see is what you get here. Very comfortable, plenty of space, and I'll show you up and around the site. There's not many people here this week. It's being used really as a convenient stop off to refresh your tanks. There are plenty of places for tents. It's penned off at the moment. There is one tent down there, and there was a camper van down there this morning and yesterday, and lots of beautiful scenic hills and a lovely view of the Atlantic here with the Hebrides in the background. Bertie Badger, and you can see beyond the sun here is just ourselves and a couple of vans. Toilet block here with bottle collection and recycling, and more bins down the other end. And the best part about it is there's no breeze again today, the sun is shining, and we're on the move. And this morning we're going to start heading south. We are really up in the north of Isle of Skye in Scotland, and we really need to start moving south. We're going to be heading back to Skye Bridge this morning, which is about 40 miles. So once we've got off the island of Skye. We're going to head down south to Fort William and refuel, and we usually do that at the Morrison's filling station, which have a really good price on diesel. And from there we're going to head down further south to Oban and hopefully end up at Crinan, which is down on the west coast and very pretty indeed. So we'll take you along. Well, we've arrived at one of our favourite little park ups. Second time we've been here. It's Crinan Loch. And it's not the sort of loch that you'd normally find in Scotland. It's a canal loch, as you can see behind me probably. And the little doggies are scooting their way along. There you can see the lock gates here. We're just crossing the lock gates down to the towpath. And this is the Crinan Canal. And a rather dirty Bertie over on the park up. Bertie Badger. We're on a little stack of locks here. There's 3 or 4 locks here, and then there's more further down. But we're just going to wander down the towpath, stretch your legs. We've had a good journey today, coming down from Skye right the way down here to Crinan, and we're just going to go and stretch your legs, get a bit of air, and then put the kettle on and have something for dinner in the motorhome. Lovely quiet little spot here, and one of our favourite little park ups. There is a road that runs, a little road that runs along the back, and you'll see a car go by in just a second. But there we go. But it's, for all intents and purposes, it's a lovely little park up and a very pretty area. And here come the terrible two, and the lovely Sue. Who's taking who for a walk? We'll go a little further down and we'll have a look down here. It's getting a little bit dusk now, but I'm just checking the time. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's almost at the end of November 2018, and we think that's a lock keeper's cottage. And more locks, and of course they build these little holding spaces here so that you can wait for boats to go through. There's the ruins of an old boat shed for the linnet, which was built in 1866. Had a tall red funnel and packed passenger decks. Was the icon of the canal. There's a picture of the linnet, which apparently Queen Victoria was known to have travelled on, with its tall red funnel. And here it is, the ruin of the old boat shed. Everything's very still, and there's a couple of locks up here. We're just going to go across this little bridge. It's coming into shot there. And just to my left, some beautiful reflections in the water. To my left here is Here's the badger, Bertie Badger, on our park up. Well, good morning. It's day 7 of our Scottish road trip in November 2018, and we're still at Crinan Canal, and we just come up into the forest to do a little walk. We're not in any hurry to get away today. Our next stop is Strathclyde Country Park, which is where we started off last Saturday. Today's Friday, and we're taking the dogs through the forest on a marked walk, so we're going to be following the orange or the yellow, we're not quite sure which yet. It's about a 2-hour walk, and as you can see from where I'm standing, we're over the canal where we're parked. I'll just to give you a shot of that, and then we'll walk into the forest. Well, we've climbed up quite a steep hill, above the trees now, and even higher above the trees as we climb the hill. Oscar's having a little time off lead, and a hell of a time. Leading the way. We're still climbing. Now we can see even further. We're walking back along the trail, a downhill trail, which is a little bit slippy in places, but it's very, very pretty. Just going through the Loch gates. To the second lock. Good morning. It is day 8 of our Scottish road trip. Day 8 is the final day, and it's the long journey back from Strathclyde Country Park, Caravan and Motorhome Club site, all the way back to Ipswich. So we've got lots of motorway to enjoy today. We do hope that you've enjoyed our little Scottish road trip this winter. It's now approaching December. We've been out on the road here for 8 days, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've found one or two unusual little spots, and Sue and I will put together one or two highlights and also a full-length version. And here she is. And we're getting ready to drive that long journey. It was just a last little job of emptying out the tanks and cleaning out the van, which Sue's done most of, to be fair, and we'll be on our way. So thank you very much for watching, thank you for subscribing to our channel, and we'll catch you along the way very, very soon. There is one or two cheeky little winter trips to come, so stay tuned. Bye for now.